Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Levian Arta Pertama Kahar. My name number is 254107060119. And today I'm going to talk about the AI for product design in a product design world. Okay. So first thing first, how do you guys know about the AI itself? There's so many things AI in this world, like, for example, there's a ChatGPT, Gemini, and there's like a Perplexity, and many much more. Now we're going to talk about how the AI could help the product designer or the UI designer, as I've been immersed in the world of UI UX designer from my very internship in a high school era. First thing first, have you any heard about the AI itself? So AI is basically artificial intelligence that could help any people in the world to be or conducting any work so much more efficient, right? You probably ever heard about ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity and any other AI stuff, right? But those AI are to, but those AI is like an LLM to help you to answering your question based on the user input in the text. Okay. So how about the AI in a product design itself? The AI in the product design itself is way different with the AI in an LLM or ChatGPT, those kind of things. AI in a product design, as I mentioned in the presentation, there are some of like a Figma Make, Lovable, and a Webflow, and also a Framer. Those kind of application are already built into the AI itself. So first thing first, what is the Figma and Lovable and Webflow and Framer? Those applications are the application to build a product design on the UI design. So if you try to build or design some application, this AI could, I mean, this application could help you make the design itself. But why I would mention the AI could transformation with those application. Now we're going to move to the next slide because those kind of application are already built in with the AI. I mean, not all of it, but some of them. We could help or they could help us to brainstorming or ideation if we got a product or we got a brief either from the client, either from the stakeholder. Let's say that you are a UI designer like me, and I got a brief, but I don't understand what should I create or what application should I design to fulfilling the need of the user or need by the customer. We could use this AI to brainstorming and ideation by simply um, make the AI to act like like us, like a product designer, for example. We could push the AI to act like as ourselves and help us by what if you got some this kind of project and what things that you're going to create it first. And also we could acting the AI first or suggesting the AI as a product designer that has more than like a 5 or 10 years experience so they could understand more about the product itself. And the second thing is the rapid prototyping. So I will make this clear and simply as possible because prototyping itself is way kind of complex itself. Prototyping in here, it's mean that you are creating like a button and you gotta click. When the button is clicked, you will be moved to another page. Okay. So let's say you've got a 50 or a 60 page in a workflow and you're going to like drag it one by one, all those button, all those component, all those widget. We already know that those things already typed and waste a lot of time. With this AI, you can create like a single workflow. For example, I got this screen called login and screen called reset password and another screen called like a login. Now we have our three, right? Those three screen, we could select all of them and make the AI itself to create a flow. Like for example, those three, that the AI going to, what is it, like prototyping or the connecting button, all of it, it's just by the AI. And the last thing is the instant feedback. We all know that feedback is important because we are a product designer. We try to create some product that will used by the lot of people, by the customer, not just the guy from IT, not just people with the IT background, but with all of this kind of people, right? So feedback is much important as the brainstorming and ideation. And we could use our we could use AI to create an feedback with the same method like in the brainstorming idea. We call the AI as the user, as the customer, as the point of view of the customer. I already built this application and I would like you to give some feedback with my application. And the AI will give us the feedback that from the point of view of the user. So this AI could really help us with the feedback. Okay, in this screen is the kind of illustrating from the traditional workflow into AI-assisted workflow. So back in the day, as a product designer, we try to create user flow by using like for example, I get this my phone as wait, hold on, it's not showing in here. Let's say we got this paper, right? We got this paper and we try to draw it by itself. It's like take a lot of time, a lot of work. But now with the AI assisted workflow, we could just simply by clicking the AI and ideation our product, and the AI will help us to create how much flow that we need. I mean, how many flow that we need to build this app. Okay, now we're moving into the unseen challenge or understanding the AI as the UX. Okay, first thing first, I want to highlight is the UX itself. If you guys didn't know about the UX, first, the UX is basically stand for user experience, or in bahasa we call it pengalaman pengguna. So as I move deeply into the AI itself, I already noticed that this AI could just help us to create a high fidelity or high imaginary or high visual that looks right or looks good in the eye. But those looks good or the look or the visual looks good. It's not always right because if we create some product, we should understand the feeling of the customer, not just, oh, this visual looks great. Oh, this app is beautiful. Oh, this app has a beautiful button, has a imaginary button. Not just like that. We try to create an app that looks understandable and easy to use by the customer, by the user. And I think this AI or those AI previous that I mentioned, it's not simply to create the UX. It still use the UI itself. Why? Because in this slide, it said that the user state, emotional impact of color, and observational insight, it's truly from human behavior because all of those three simply we could understand by talking or communicating with each other. And the AI couldn't work with that because AI couldn't speak or communicating with each other. So the deepest we could understand each other, the empathy that we build by ourselves by with the other, it should help us with the UX proposal itself. Because in the user state, AI cannot predict a flow, but they struggle to understand. Why? Because some of the AI are just will to create the visual, not to understanding the behind of the user. And it would be referred into the emotional impact of the color. Color have we all know that in this world there are so many colors, right? From red, blue, purple, yellow, and etc. Those colors are represented as the emotional from the user. Like for example, why would a food brand always use red? For me, or the news that I already learned, red is more the color is more flavorous if we put it into a food brand. Simply like that. I couldn't understand how to choose a color for any product. So AI, it's still hallucinate in here. And it will be referring to in the observational insight, the true UX insight. come from observing human behavior. For example, if we use or grab this kind of remote I have in here, AI couldn't understand if you put like a clicking the button, if we are always using the right hand or the left hand, where we should push the button or where we should put the text or how the texts are considered to be readable, AI still couldn't understand with that. So all of those three that I already mentioned still need the human element. Why? Because empathy is driven by the user and driven by the actual designer itself and the contextual understanding. All those between communicating are always make some context. And those contexts will by the user or by the person with another person. And it will make into the ethical judgment where making a design itself, it need like a will being known or need by the user or the customer itself. So, I mean, if we're trying to build some product, but we don't know how the requirement by the customer, those applications will be another hallucinating application. So that judgment here is to create the ethical design that will prioritize the user first rather than the visual look. But it will be moved to the creative vision where AI could help us by making the visual imagination or imaginary. And we're trying to, what is it called? Like prospecting for more creative by editing the visual that already built by the AI. So we're creating not another, but improvising the visual that already made by the AI. And now with the conclusion that I could make is the AI is for just efficiency, and still the you need a human for the designing empathy and the designer for insight. All those three conclusions are symbolize or mutualism each other, I guess, because we need AI for efficiency in the time, and we still need the designer itself to create the human empathy, the feeling, the boundaries or the bond between people and the customer. And here is like a table, the human AI partnership. We could start from the very top, it's like the strategic one, and the comment to the below. It's like what is it we have what if we have AI from the 5 or 2 or 3 next year? And I will simplify the core UX design is always related to human insight because human insight are still possibly needs and will not be couldn't not replaced by AI because creating some product it means creating something that could understand each other. And yeah, I think that's all that I could present to you guys. Thank you for listening until the end. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.